When Leonard turned 70, he didn't expect much to change. He still walked every morning, still read the newspaper with his coffee, and still kept his garden as immaculate as ever. Aging to him had always seemed like a gradual slide, not a switch. But one afternoon, while at his annual checkup, his doctor mentioned something that stuck. "You've been healthy for your age, Leonard," she said, flipping through his chart. "But have you noticed any changes in your urine lately?" He laughed. "Other than going more often?" She smiled politely. "Color? Smell? Frothiness? Anything unusual?" "Frothiness?" he repeated, bewildered. She leaned in. "Believe it or not, your urine can tell us quite a bit about how your body's aging, particularly your kidneys. And at your age, that's something we really start to pay attention to." That was the first time Leonard had ever thought about urine as a kind of crystal ball. But later that night, as he stood in the bathroom under the soft yellow light, he peered into the toilet and studied the water like a scientist. It was a pale amber. Normal, he guessed. He flushed, washed his hands, and tried to shake off the creeping sense of mortality. A week later, the results of his routine tests came in. Most were fine: cholesterol, blood pressure, glucose, all within range. But the doctor frowned at one number. "Your creatinine levels are slightly elevated," she said. "And your eGFR, that's your kidney function estimate, is lower than we'd like." Leonard stared. "What does that mean exactly?" "It could be nothing. Mild decline is common with age, but it might suggest early signs of chronic kidney disease. How you treat your body now can affect how long you live and how well." "How long I live," he repeated. The doctor didn't flinch. "There's new research showing that markers in your urine, like protein levels, color, and frequency, can predict your life expectancy after 70. Kidney health is more important than people think." That night, Leonard didn't sleep much. He thought about his father, who died at 74 of a stroke. His mother had made it to 80, but only after years of dialysis. Leonard had assumed he had time, maybe a decade or two, but now a nagging thought had taken root. He started watching his urine like a hawk. Mornings became analysis sessions. Was the color darker than yesterday? Was that foam on the surface or just a trick of the light? Had he gone to the bathroom more times than usual, or was that just the 2 glasses of water before bed? Soon, he started keeping a notebook. 5:45 a.m., light yellow, no odor. 10:10 a.m., faint cloudiness. 1:35 p.m., slight froth. Possible dehydration? He cut down on red meat, drank more water, switched to a low-sodium diet. At night, he read articles about kidney health, and one word kept coming up: albuminuria. Protein in the urine, an early warning sign of kidney failure and cardiovascular disease. It could quietly reduce life expectancy by years, especially in older adults. Leonard felt like he'd opened a door that couldn't be closed. The truth was flowing through him, literally, every day. His daughter noticed the change. "You okay, Dad?" she asked one afternoon, catching him squinting into the toilet bowl. He hesitated, just checking on something. "On your pee?" He gave her a sheepish smile. "Your old man's trying to stick around as long as he can." She didn't laugh. Instead, she came and sat beside him. "Is something wrong?" He told her everything: the doctor's warning, the test results, the urine journal. She listened without interrupting. "Do you think this'll really help?" she asked. "I don't know," he admitted. "But I think the body gives you signs. I've just never bothered to listen." It became a quiet ritual. Each morning, after his walk and tea, he'd log his notes. Once a month, he'd go in for a urinalysis. Slowly, his numbers started to improve. The doctor was pleased but cautious. "You've bought yourself time," she said, "but more importantly, quality of life." That phrase mattered more to Leonard than life expectancy. He didn't just want years. He wanted good years. One night, about a year after his 71st birthday, he had dinner with some old friends from college. They'd met every decade since turning 50, and the table was filled with laughter and noise. But one of them, Harold, looked tired, drawn. Leonard pulled him aside later. "You all right, Harold?" Harold sighed. "High blood pressure, kidney problems. Doctor says I've lost a third of my function." "But you know, at this age, what can you do?" Leonard nodded. "You can do a lot, actually. You just have to start listening to the small signs. Even your urine can tell you the truth if you're willing to pay attention." Harold blinked. "You mean, like looking at it?" "Exactly like that." It sounded ridiculous, but it was also the truth. When Leonard turned 73, his doctor gave him a new report. You're stable. Functions actually improved slightly. You're not just holding on, you're reversing some of the damage. How long does that give me? Leonard asked, not out of fear, but curiosity. The doctor smiled. No one knows the exact number, but based on your current health, you're on track for your late 80s. Maybe more, Leonard laughed. And all I had to do was pee like a scientist. Exactly, she said. Most people wait until symptoms show up. You listened when it whispered. That night, Leonard stood once more under the bathroom light. He peered into the bowl like always. Clear. Pale yellow. No foam. A good sign. But more than the color, what struck him was the sense of control. Aging had always felt like a tide pulling him out to sea. But now, he'd found a paddle. A strange one, perhaps. A glass of water in a toilet bowl, but a paddle nonetheless. He didn't fear death the way he used to, because now he wasn't waiting for it to happen. He was talking to his body every day. He was listening. And so far, it was still talking back.